Hello, how's everybody doing? Today I'm gonna do this is a serious one because I am actually going to do one on a mistake that I made and some things that I said that I don't believe in anymore. I mean, not that I don't believe in anymore. It's not possible. It's not true. Something that I believed in. What? Let me tell you how I started doing this because as a when I, how can I start this thing? I'm just gonna say, like, first of all, I have to just talk about the problem. The thing that I did, that I said wrong, a belief that I had that was wrong. That's what I'm trying to say. Was that I said? Then I can say the belief that I said was wrong, and then you'll understand what this whole thing is going to be about. Because I remember when I was doing the Access program, those of you who follow all the videos, you'll notice. And I said that they were chosen people, okay? And I was saying that the Jews were chosen people. And however, going through the things that we were talking about all the time, and the things that we went through as an ex-Jehovah Witness, the process that I was talking to you about, like the process of finding out, like, if something is true or if something is not true, and how you can see things that you were taught that weren't true, because, like, when you learn something, all the things that we learned as Jehovah Witnesses, and then we come out and we leave the Jehovah Witnesses, and then we find out that this is not true, that's not true, this is not true, and that's not true, because it doesn't, like, have any bearings, or it doesn't have any, like, backing as far as how everything else is connected. So I was saying, like, when I was doing the Access program, I was talking about, like, for instance, the poor people a long time ago, and how when Jesus came to earth, and how and I was talking about, like, the Jewish people, like, how everything was, and how it wasn't, like, really a religion. And this is how I figured it out, okay? And that's how I do everything. I have to see how things were and how things have to be. Like, for instance, I mean, back then, it was just like, poor people, and we say Jewish people, but back then it was like poor people. They just got out of slavery, and they called them Jews. But it had nothing to do with religion whatsoever. It was just, these people were enslaved, and they were looking for their Messiah. I mean, and they followed God. They had a God, and they would follow their Messiah. But they were all together all the time. And then Jesus came, and the Messiah came, and some people, like, even though they had opinions about certain things, but when they heard him speak, they knew that this was, God, just like he had planned in all the prophecies and everything like that. But there's certain people who didn't believe, you know, and everybody knows the story, but it was no religion. It was just like poor people, just like you see people today. They're poor people. And then when Jesus comes, even when he comes this time, everybody would drop their opinions and say, okay, I wasn't right about this, or I wasn't right about that. He's here, you know what I mean? But then you still have the manipulators, the people who will not believe, and they don't believe. And however, how I see it and how I figured it out was the fact that if they were all poor people, they leave. I mean, not that, because it's not a religion, it's just being poor and not being able to do anything. So if you have all these people who are not able to do anything, they're just going to, and then you have God who comes down and says, hey, I'll support you, whatever you do. I'm on your side. You don't need to follow this person. You don't need to follow that person because I'm with you all the time. So all these poor people, even just like today, um, think about all the poor people. And if Jesus comes the next time, comes again, it has nothing to do with religion or anything. I mean, which is good. I'm not saying there's good religion, there's bad religion, but you have to go by what he says. But anyway, I'm saying that the people who were in a bad situation said, "Oh wow, I could go here, or I could go there. I don't need this person to tell me what to do. I don't need this person to tell me what to do." So what I'm trying to say is those people were the ones that were the chosen ones, because they had that experience and they were with Christ, and they saw him and everything, and they were exposed to him. But then they became Christians, and those were the chosen people. What I'm saying is that today we are the people who came from those people who dropped all their poorness and everything, and they were called the Jews, and they dropped it, and then they made this entire empire that we have here, and we're the most successful in everything. And not because we're a religion, because we came from those people who met Christ and who followed Christ, and they dropped their title and they became Christians, and that's all it was. It was people. It had nothing to do, which I'm not saying is bad that we made religions, because everybody thinks differently. And I think religion is just religion. I'm talking about good religions, and they do things wrong, but good religions are just people who we disagree about certain things. No, I think it's this way, or no, I think it's this way. But when you find Christ, it's like you got to drop everything, and that's what they did. They dropped everything, and it's 100%. 100% of the poor people who were called Jews, but then they became Christian, and there were some more Jews. I mean, but you still had the other people, the manipulators, I think, who continued to try and manipulate people. That's the only thing I'm going to say. But what I'm saying now is my mistake is that I was saying that there was chosen people now, and I really thought that there was chosen people now. But I don't believe that anymore. I mean, I went through everything, I prayed about it and everything. And it's nothing bad, it's just that everybody wants to be special. You have certain, I'm not saying all white people, but you have certain white people who think that even though it doesn't mean anything, they think that they're better. And then that's what we're trying to get out of. But a lot of times they're Christians, that's why they had to change a lot of opinions about people, about black people, about Italian people. And because they were Christians, they had to change, because they pray and they say, and God tells them, no, that's not right, so they change. But then you have people who don't want to change. But what I'm trying to state is that I said in my own mouth that I thought that there was chosen people. I believe that there was chosen people, and I believe that the Jewish people of today were chosen. But now I don't see that. I don't believe that, because anybody can say that everybody does it. Everybody says that they're chosen. Everybody says that they're it. And everybody says that they're the best thing. And you can take a name and make a name for. There's people who start religions nowadays, and they say that they're this. It could be any name, and then they keep going and they get followers, and then they become that name. So I don't believe that anymore. The only thing I'm saying is that I don't believe there's any special people anymore. I mean, I believe that there were special people, and they gave their life and they suffered so that we can have all this, but they did it in God's name, in Christ's name. And that's why we have Christians today. That's why we have what we have today. But then you still have the people The only sad thing is until Jesus comes back again, we still have manipulators who can manipulate people. And that's where they came from. And some of them are bad, some of them are good. Like when Jesus comes back, a lot of the religions would just have to drop and say, okay, well, now he's here, so let's get together and be one. Okay? And everybody starts agreeing. But then you have those who, no matter what, you'll still have those who, and I don't know what Jesus is going to do about that. But the only thing I'm saying this tape for is a mistake I made is by saying that there were special people, and that I really thought that the Jews were the Jews that they call, I mean, the people that call themselves Jews nowadays. I really believe that they were that they were the chosen ones. I don't believe that anymore. It's just from really thinking and praying about it, which doesn't change anything. The only thing I see them now is just like everybody else. Before, I used to see them as something special. No matter what happened, no matter what they did, I would say, oh, they can communicate with God directly. So, I mean, they even did certain things in as far as my life is concerned. I mean, and I would always say, well, it doesn't make a difference because they're the chosen people, you know? And now the only thing I feel good about is that I know now is that I'm a representation of those Christians those poor Jewish people who met Christ, and they didn't care about, there was no Jewish or anything. They didn't care. They were just with God, and they wanted to make sure that it had no difference in that they were nobody special. So they changed their whole everything, and they believed in Christ, and they said they're Christians, which doesn't have anything to do with race or anything. And they mix with everybody else. And those are the people that people forget about. And that's who I believe are the chosen people, and they don't even exist anymore. We're the ones that exist, the Christians now. And that's the only change I want to say, but I don't look at people differently now. When I think of Jewish people, I just think of them as everybody else, because it was a wrong thing for me to say, because I prayed about it and I see how, then after I prayed about it, I saw all the mistakes I made in my own mind as far as viewing people. Now I view everybody the same way, you know. I don't care who you are. And it's safer because I can fit things together. So that's the only thing I want to say. And this one I'm going to put as far as, but I'm not saying harsh anything about anybody. I'm just saying everybody wants to be special. All the groups, I'm very old. I still don't want to say my age, but I've met so many people who want to be special. So many people who want God for themselves. And it's just not true. Everybody can have the Father, okay? And that's the last thing I want to say. So I hope everybody's doing fine. This guy's coming up. I'm doing a video, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. So anyway, I just want to end it right there, and I hope everybody's doing very well. I'm sorry, you distracted me a little bit. And I hope everybody understands this. This is going to be under being, being an ex-Jehovah Witness. And I came across a point by using the same thing that I use to understand what happened to me as far as being a Jehovah Witness, all the things that the tools that I use to become an ex-Jehovah Witness. That's what I came up with this, and I feel better about it because I can see things more clearly. And plus I pray about everything, and there's no way in the world I could do certain things if I don't see things in the correct manner. So anyway, I hope everybody enjoys this also, this ex-Jehovah Witness tape. And the only thing I want to say as far as Jehovah Witness is concerned is that's where the manipulators, I mean, like I said, there's good people who manipulate and there's bad people who manipulate. And you can be manipulated to do the good things, you know what I mean? And then they go, see, that's all I was trying to show you. So it's not really, I don't know if it's a manipulation. But then you have the manipulators who want gain, and those people who are, and I believe, which I'm learning also by the information that people are giving me, is that the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society is pretty much owned by certain kind of manipulators, but only it's a force of manipulators, and that's what I'm still researching now. So thank you very much. I hope everybody enjoyed it, and that's what I prayed about, and this is what the tape I have. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.